I wasn't able to carry it to move around with.
Oh.
But it's there.
Interesting. So yesterday, here in Uganda, we were celebrating the World Mental Health. We were doing mental health celebrations. Yes. But the actual celebrations is supposed to be 10th October?
October, yes, every year.
And you were part of it?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm okay.
How are you feeling?
I am always hopeful, and I feel good. And 10th was supposed to be the day for celebrations for as a world, but then for Uganda, because our independence is on the 9th.
Oh yeah.
So as a country, Ministry of Health decided to push it for 31st, which was yesterday.
Okay.
Yes.
Say hello to our viewers.
Hello, our viewers. Greetings to you. And we are here discussing issues around mental health, because it has a lot of myths, it has a lot of stigma around it, it has a lot of issues around it. But today we want to keep reminding ourselves that, hey, help is available.
Exactly.
We are still there. You are not alone, and you will never be. So don't die in silence. Come out, and you'll be helped. Come out and receive your healing. Come out, receive your deliverance. Come out, receive your treatment.
Thank you.
Help is available.
Now, mental health is a big challenge in the country, because today we woke up on a newspaper that says 30% of Ugandans are mentally ill. Where does this take us as Ugandans?
You see, the fact is, as a country, mental health has not been given, has been not been able to receive issues to do with priority, if I may use that word. We've not prioritized mental health as a country. But I think where we are, it is really at a time when we need to come out. Actually, when they were releasing that report yesterday and signing it yesterday, it is true, actually, when they took us through the data that they collected across the country. And you see that even in a whole region, in a whole district, there are places where you will hardly find, even here, about mental health services, meaning that it has not been given any priority. And indeed, there was a report that 14 million Ugandans are mentally ill, and some people actually rose and said it is not true and all that, but we are seeing it right in our own eyes. When we look at mental illness, we are not only looking at people who are already in the streets, maybe moving naked or eating from the garbage and all that.
Exactly.
Mental illness begins, it has a mild stage where all of us struggle with, but then because of fear, we choose to keep quiet. And then, in most cases, actually this research was even done, and in most cases, that number was got from the participants who participated. And from yesterday's explanation from those who did that research, majority of them were women. That means the men didn't show up.
Oh.
And to be honest with you, more men battle mental illness than women. Only they don't show up. Even in the Bible, fewer women who suffered mental illness are recorded, but more men are recorded as well.
Yes.
If you have any chance to read through my book, Hope in the Age of Depression, you will see that 7 men, I looked at the able men, but they even men others. But I just chose to look at those cream, the top layers of people with a lot of influence, people with a lot of dignity and positions who struggle with mental illness.
So now, before we dig deeper into this, people would love to understand what is mental illness. Now, okay, let us discuss mental health.
Now, mental health,
yes,
in simple terms, is the mental well-being that enables every one of us, me and you, to be able to, number one, realize our potentials, realize our abilities, be able to work and learn well, help us to be able to cope with the stresses of life on a daily basis, and helps us also to be able to contribute to our community. That is mental health.
So what is the difference between
Now,
mental health
illness
and illness?
Mental illness is now a mental health condition that affects people's thoughts, mood, and behavior.
Okay.
And therefore cannot help make or cannot make them, number one, to realize their ability. Number two, they cannot make decisions on their own. Number three, their behavior is terrible. Number four, they cannot contribute to the community. And when we look at contributions, we're not only looking in terms of money. We're looking in terms of abilities, in terms of potentials, in terms of influence, and all of that. Now, when it comes to say mental health, when somebody is mentally healthy, this morning they wake up to go to work, and then everything is moving on well. They're able to make right choices. They're able to do this and that. But when somebody is battling mental illness, even waking up becomes very hard for them. They even lose interest to go to work. They lose interest in so many things. And then they choose to stay alone, isolated from others. They choose to do things by themselves, and their thoughts are always negative ones, and some of them even become suicidal. Now, if somebody becomes suicidal and then commits suicide, they cannot contribute to the community positively. You know, so that is where the thin line is. But when we talk about mental health, most people have a lot of myths around mental health, because others will say you only talk about mental health maybe if you have a mental health condition, maybe you can only take care of your mental health if you have this and that, these things of mental illness, this is because of witchcraft, you know. But these are real life issues, and if you look at the causes of the mental illness, and even from the research that was carried out, majority of us struggle with anxiety, majority of us struggle with depression, majority of us, they will tell you in basic English, they will tell you that they have moody swings.
So are we speaking about actually, types of mental health, mental illness?
Others will tell you they have moody swings, which is actually directly telling that they have bipolar condition. Because there are times when they're happy, there are times when they're sad.
You know, I realized a lot of people have bipolar, but they don't.
Yeah, they don't know. But then they will only say, me, I have this. And then others will tell you, don't joke with me because I'm short-tempered. Their anger is excessive, and they don't know that that's actually as a result of mental illness. Many people don't sleep as a result of mental illness. They cannot sleep as refused to them. People have lost interest in everything that they want to do. People have lost interest. They cannot concentrate on anything. You know, many people are living in isolation. They fear crowds. They fear people. They fear their OBs. They fear their OGs. Why? They see themselves as the failures, and then their OBs are doing well, which is actually as a trigger, which is also as a result of mental illness. And these are things that we actually live with on a daily basis. And besides, when it comes to stress, every day we go through stress.
Every day.
Every day.
Everyone has stress. That.
But then the point is how it is only if you are healthy in mind, if you have good mental health, that you can be able to cope with these stresses of life on a daily basis. But if not, if you have a mental illness, then these stressors will actually trigger you to be on the other extreme side of mental illness. So we struggle, every one of us. That's why I keep explaining here for friends that please, you are not mental illness can affect anybody regardless of status. That's why even in the Bible, kings suffered it. Whether you're a man of God or not, because even in the Bible, we see so many men of God who suffered mental illness. Elijah, after calling fire, struggled. Moses, after he wanted to deliver the children of Israel, and he said, it is better for me to suffer with them, and all that. When time came for him to lead them out of Egypt, he did it very well, but during that journey, there was a lot of frustration.
And he did not reach the promised land.
He didn't even reach the promised land because of anger. And if you read it through, you see that the man was actually mentally affected. You look at King David. You look at Jeremiah, who even cursed why he was even born. This is a man of God. How about Jesus?
I know.
So all of us can be depressed. All of us can go through stuff. So you are not alone. That's the first place I want to begin from. So anybody who is struggling with a mental illness of whatever kind, number one, you're not alone. Number two, there is treatment.
Yes.
Treatment is there. Number three, there is a healing.
Total healing?
Total healing that comes. Number three, there is deliverance that comes. You know, one thing that is very interesting is, me, I approach mental health from the perspective that every human being has three aspects of life. That's why I talk about the treatment. If you are on treatment, please don't give up. Because the treatment is there to treat your body. The symptoms of the mental illness that is coming on your body, that every one of us will now see as the obvious thing. Your mood is on your body.
Yes.
The behaviors and the things that you do are based on your body.
Now, since we are talking about relationships, since we are talking about mental health and relationships.
Yes.
Let's say I am dating someone.
Okay.
So how do I tell that this person is actually mentally ill and they need help? Signs of someone that is having mental illness. Yes, in a relationship. How does one tell that actually my partner needs help? He could be or she could be mentally ill.
You see, one thing that people normally, when it comes to relationships, you will hear people say, these are red lights. These are signs that these are red flags, run away. No, don't have to run away. There are things that actually need to be done. Help this brother, help this sister. How do you know that somebody is struggling with mental health problem? Number one, if this person you are dating or you're married to, or you're married to struggles to go to the bathroom to bathe, you know he's struggling.
Then we have a lot of people.
If somebody is unable to differentiate a clean cloth from a dirty one, and then just shows up, whether the cloth is clean or not, you know this person is actually, they don't care anymore. You know this person is actually struggling. Basic personal hygiene, if this person is struggling with any, you know this person is actually struggling. He needs help. Number two, if your partner or your friend chooses to stay alone in isolation, doesn't want crowd, doesn't want people, you know this person is struggling. Number three, if this person is complaining of sleep, either they don't sleep at all, sleep has refused them, sleep has refused, they can't sleep, you know this person is actually struggling. Or if they oversleep, in that even if you carried them out, they cannot even realize that somebody is carrying them. Okay. You know this person needs help. If somebody is complaining about appetite, they have lost appetite, they have, you know, or they have too much appetite, you know this person is struggling.
Even too much appetite,
yes.
You said it's also a sign.
It is a sign. If somebody has become alcoholic, or is taking all kind of drugs, be it opium, be it marungi, be it what, and has become a drug addict, you just know this person needs help. He's struggling with mental illness. If you see your partner or your friend is struggling, keeps forgetting every appointment you make.
So memory loss.
Memory loss. Keeps forgetting, doesn't follow any, you know this person is actually struggling. If somebody is in a place where they just feel hopeless and they tell you how they're not good enough, how they're useless, how they don't amount to anything, how they feel they are worthless, you know this person is struggling with a mental health problem.
How about the mood?
The mood as well. I'm coming to the mood.
And character-wise?
Exactly, the behavior, because
yes.
Like I was saying, you know mental illness from the thought of the person, the mood, and the behavior. So in terms of the mood, if somebody is very moody, always moody, if they're always moody and there is no any sign of happiness, it could be depression. If at some point they are very happy,
some people who hardly smile.
Yeah, they're there. The people who hardly smile, they are always moody. The person could actually be struggling with depression. Now, if somebody is also at some point is very happy, energetic and all that, and then after some time is moody and all that, this one's actually battling bipolar. That's where the issue of the moody swing comes.
We have had cases of...
These are just signs that this person needs help. And then, of course, now when somebody is battling like that, you know, and then also when a man is broke, he's angry man. That anger is not usual. The man needs help.
You know, here in Africa, they tell us when a man is broke, the mood is bad. So we are just used.
So we need to appreciate, because until you come to that terms, we will always keep running from left to right. I think because when I sat back to look at my 8 heartbreaks, it now dawned on me that actually I was the cause of all this to some degree.
Yeah.
Because physics tells us actions and reactions are equal but opposite. So it is somebody's action that makes you to react. So when it comes to love relationships now, where we are diving into, you see that when somebody has a mental health problem, it is hard for them to relate well with others. Exactly. They lose a lot of things. They lose interpersonal skills. They lose communication skills. They will become very rude. They become very arrogant. You ask them a question, they don't give you answer. They give you the answer in form of a question, in a harsh way. You know, so how do you help this person? Because the problem we have right now is we don't have true love. Yet it still exists in some
true love. Can we go for a short break and we come back and talk about true love? Tugenda mukumula mukatara ne tukomawo ne Daniel oliko Be Hopeful.
You're watching Be Hopeful. We'll be right back after the break. Bethany TV for health. Are you looking for a platform to advertise your business and boost your sales? Bethany TV got you covered. Take advantage of our introductory rates and maximize your leverage for brand awareness, advertising, product launching, live coverages, activations, and so much more. For booking and more information, contact our sales team on 0785 576 269. Bethany TV for health. Introducing Bethany TV, the pioneer health and wellness channel in Uganda and Africa, having a profound commitment to health and wellness. Our content takes various forms, from music and series to documentaries, talk shows, news, features, movies, cartoons, and reality shows. We are a hybrid station available on free-to-air and pay platforms, embracing the digital age as we maintain a strong online presence through our website, social media platforms, and mobile apps. Explore our rich and diverse content, engage with us on social media, and be a part of the positive change we aim to bring to the health and wellness landscape. Bethany TV for health. Introducing Medical Minds with Dr. Andabati.
And these tubes can be so delicate that sometimes they get damaged. Some people have gotten the damage because they have undergone some operations. So damage to the tube system is one of the big problems we also do see.
The groundbreaking show that takes you behind the scenes of the medical minds.
You will explore cutting-edge treatment and technologies revolutionizing reproduction health.
Now, in retrograde ejaculation, we get damage to the junctional valves, which I should say.
Learn about the science behind fertility, contraception, and emotional journeys that several women trek.
Every Sunday, 8 p.m., live on Bethany TV. Are you ready for this good news? You can now watch Bethany TV on Yo TV, AfroMobile, and Airtel TV apps. Yes! Catch the finest programming prescription for everybody, wherever you are, whenever you are. Bethany TV, for health. Bethany TV, for health. And now, more with Be Hopeful.
Webale okubango kyatambula naffe gwe munaffe yakatwegattako oli ku Bethany TV program Be Hopeful program ekuzaamu amaanyi tuleeta abantu ab'enjawulo wano ku show ne batunyumiza ku lugero lw'obulamu ne tubeerako bye tuyiga era olunaku olwaleero omusomesa waffe leero tulina musomesa olugero yalutunyumiza dda naye nga olugero lwe lwali lukwata ku bulwadde obw'obwongo nga yali atawanyizibwa era mu kutawanyizibwa okwo yamaliriza amenyesa omutima emirundi nga 8 relationships nezigaana naye kyaddaaki bwe yamala okwezuula ate nafuna omuntu n'abeera bulungi mwami ono ye Dreleba
Yep.
Daniel Dratibi.
Yes.
He has just won an award for mental health advocacy era ye mulwanirizi wa ddembe ly'abantu abalina obulwadde bw'obwongo. Twabagambye obulwadde bw'obwongo si ddalu bannange. Omuntu watuukira okugwa eddalu kiba kiyitiridde naye ebintu bitandikira eno mpola mpola omuntu asunguwala abadde alina engeri gy'atumenyeramenyeramu signs oba symptoms oba byolabirako nti kaakati omuntu ono awadi yiiyo ey'omukulu ono gye yafunye olunaku lw'eggulo nga Uganda ejaguza olunaku olw'obulwadde bw'obwongo era okunoonyereza kwavuddeyo nga kulaga nti bannayuganda ebitundu 3 ku buli 100 balwadde ba bwongo. Kakati simanyi kino gye kitutwala ng'eggwanga kubanga relationships are actually failing so much many times. Mbadde mbagamba nti Daniel atubuliddeko ku bintu ebimu ebikosa abantu mu relationships naddala oba ebintu kw'omanyira nti omuntu wo gw'olina oba omwami wo oba fiance oba boyfriend oba girlfriend nti yalibanga alina ekizibu ku bwongo ne Daniel atukuutira nti omuntu bw'aba otegedde nti alina ekizibu kino tomudduka ebintu bino bisobola okukyuka osobola okumuyamba oba n'ofuna omuntu asobola okumuyamba ebimu ku byo atugambye nti omuntu bw'abanga asunguwala oba nga zivaako ng'enjogera ennaku zino ng'avaako waya mangu kantu katono nnyo ng'anyiiga alina entondo nnyingi nnyo omuntu oyo oluusi atera okuba nga ayagala kubeera yekka abamu mu kyenyumiriza namu n'ogamba nze ndi loona ng'oyagala kubeera wekka ekyo nno bubeera kabonero akalaga nti wandibanga weetaaga okulaba omuntu akuyambeko then ekintu ekirala batugambye abamu bakyamuka nnyo ate bwamala n'azikira ebirala byatugambye oyinza okuba nga otulo tukubula oba nga weebaka nnyo oba nga toyagala kulya toyina appetite oba nga olya nnyo kati bw'oba nga olya nnyo ng'okyenyumirizaamu mwana wattu walibanga olina obuzibu ku bwongo obulwadde bw'obwongo okunaaba bannange abantu abamu abatayagala kunaaba mukitegeere nti waliwo obuzibu waliwo ekigenda mu maaso. So we were talking about love before we went to a break.
Yep.
But now this love thing, we have seen people who love each other so well, but after some time things change. Either a man or a woman changes. A man turns into something else, starts beating his wife, becomes very bitter, doesn't want to listen. He's we call them dictators. He's a dictator or she's a dictator because it is both sides. Either way. So now, does that mean that if one of the partners is actually behaving like this, could be a sign of mental illness?
Yes, it is.
For us here, we say, I know busungu bwa jjajjaawe.
No. Yes. Now, what happens is this. One thing I want to still bring it here as we talk about mental health and relationships. I want to pick it from family, for example. Most families have become the greatest source of pain.
True.
And as a result, most mental illnesses are triggered from the family. Why? Because we've not been able to understand issues of mental health and mental illness around family settings. And then we, instead of helping maybe a brother or sister, we become judgmental.
Yeah.
There's a stigma around it, and then this person also takes offense. And, you know, I am involved in narrative therapy practices as a way of helping people with the distress and all that. I keep saying that you can only help a person if you separate the person from a problem.
Can you repeat that statement?
You can only help a person when you separate this person from a problem.
Okay.
A person is a person.
And the problem is another.
A problem is a problem. But a person is not a problem.
Oh, yes.
But then what has been happening is we see a person as a problem. But you are the problem. But you are the problem. You are the one who did this. You are the problem. No. The person is not the problem. The problem is the problem. The person is the person. What is the problem? Mental illness.
Now,
the person... Let me bring it here. I'm sure you have seen people who say, now, you paint a picture of a person. This can be your brother, can be a sister, can be a relative around you, or can even be a spouse. And then you say, this one is a drunkard. This one is a drunkard. Now, you have combined two things in one. So, calling me a drunkard will mean I must defend my title. I must defend myself because that's not my identity. That's not me. I am me. I am not a drunkard. Though maybe I drink.
Yeah.
You get the point? So if you want to help me as a person, but not seeing me as a problem.
Yes.
And that's where many of us have been failing. And as a result, relationships have really died. Relationships have been broken. Why? Instead of seeing you as a person, I see you as a problem. And then I run away from the problem. And then in the process, I run away from a person actually. But the problem is actually, yet this problem can actually be addressed, can actually be helped, actually be treated. This problem can actually be handled. That's why it is important for every person to understand. Now, I want to still bring back that report. 30% of Ugandans are mentally ill, according to today's newspaper.
Yes.
Like I was saying, this research yesterday, as it was given to us, and as we signed on it yesterday, majority of the participants who took part in this research were women. Now,
where are the men? They are hiding.
Where are the men? Even in our own families, I'm sure, even when you're growing up, if your brothers were told, you be a man. Be a man.
A man doesn't cry.
A man doesn't cry. A man doesn't talk. A man doesn't open up. So they don't show up. Yeah. But then if you look at statistics, true statistics, begin from your church, go to your school, go to every community where there is a gathering, there are more women than men. So
the men are isolated.
The men are there.
But they are there.
And let me also say this. Where you see such reports, where you find more women show up, be sure that there are more men out there. So looking at the 30%, yes, that was based on the number of women who showed up and the children, because this was both in school and in the communities and the health centers and all that. So the men are actually more out there who are battling this.
But silently.
But they are silent. So to me, actually, the number might even be more than 30% that we're talking about. So if you look at a ratio of, look at the ratio of the Bible where 3 women against 7, that means you have 1:3, close to.
Interesting.
So if you have 30%, you may be surprised. Now come to workplace mental health. Why do you think so many men and women are resigning from work because of toxic environments and the mental health being affected. And it is coming back to one thing, relationships, because it's affecting relationships. People are failing to relate well because somebody who has a mental illness or a mental health challenge loses communication skills. So the best they will find themselves into is argument and quarrel.
Yeah.
And if somebody is quarrelsome, okay, if somebody is quarrelsome, you know they actually struggle with the mental health problems, and therefore they need help.
Now, you talked of us labeling those people as, you know, combining a problem with a person. The main challenge is, like last time we spoke about this, yes, someone would love to help, but you can only help someone who is willing to be helped. So how do you even start helping this person?
It is easy.
Because I want to separate the problem from the person.
Yes.
But there's also this person who is so stubborn, does not even want to admit that I actually have a problem.
That's why I was trying to tell you. When you call me a drunkard, I will defend myself.
Maybe before I called you a drunkard, maybe if I called you a drunkard, I wanted to help and you refused.
And why? Because of the approach.
So how should we even approach
this is where the rubber meets the road. Many family members need help, but they don't trust who can help them. Why? Number one, before the help is coming, there has been abuse. Before the help is coming, there has been stigma, there's been discrimination, there's been a judgment. Okay? So then when you come trying to help, it doesn't work. That's why I was in one facility talking to some group of people, and I was telling the manager, you cannot be a manager of any institution as a manager and at the same time come and counsel your staff. It won't work.
Come again?
You cannot be a manager of a place doing your managerial work and then also put on another court to come to your staff that you want to offer them counseling services.
Why can't I?
A manager will, separating a manager's role from the counselor. Because by the time you are coming as a manager, you are coming with a rod.
With a load?
Yes.
Or a lot?
You are coming with a rod, stick.
A rod?
Yes.
Okay.
You must do this, you must do this, you must do this. Where are you? What? And it is worse if somebody is a choleric. That's when they will abuse, they will feel bossy, they will attack you and all of that. Then tell me, after you have abused me, now you come to say, hey, Wama, can I have a cup of tea with you? I will even have a cup of tea with you after you have abused me, I will still keep my distance. That's the same thing now that's happening. So it is until we come to a place, and the problem also now is, in most cases, the vocabulary, I'm sorry, has disappeared in so many lips of so many people in so many families.
Especially in relationships.
Especially in relationships. So it is until somebody says, you know what, I'm sorry. And then the problem also is, when we say, I am sorry, Jesus said it, let there be a fruit of repentance.
So we don't mean the sorry.
We don't mean it, because if you say you're sorry today and then do the same thing over, you're not sorry. There must be a fruit of the repentance that is coming. So we need to come to a place where we can recollect ourselves. Come back to a place where we genuinely break the barriers.
Oh, yeah.
Break the barriers that have been making us not to come close. And then get to a place where we can begin to communicate well. That's why in one of the therapies, for people who are battling mental illness, part of the therapy is communication skills. And then even the caregivers or the family members are told, if this person is behaving like this or is talking like this, don't answer back like this. Because sometimes somebody who has a mental problem, the way they think in their mind, you can't see it. the way they feel in their soul, you don't see it. You can only see some of the symptoms. Yeah. But then, when sometimes they can speak out of their frustration, and then you may be passing, then you become the victim.
Exactly.
Because of the words. But then, what I want to say is, don't take the words personal. Don't take the words personal. Because if you take the words personal, it is going to break your spirit, it's going to break your soul, you're going to feel bad about it, and you can even break. Why men will come to workplace, sit on their desk or sit on their table, and break down and begin to cry? Nobody is beating them there, but they're remembering the words that have been spoken. The bitter words, the hurtful words, the wounding words that they had or they were told. So it affects the emotions. So, but then here somebody needs to understand, if maybe my spouse has this condition, how can I best communicate with this person? We need to come to a place where we relearn. You know, there's learning and then relearning. But many times we are rigid. We don't want
to
relearn. But if we are ready to help our people, if we are ready to help our family members, if we are ready to help our spouses, then we must come to, number one, terms with unconditional love. This is where true love is. Unconditional, because we have three phrases of if. We have if one, if two, if three. Conditional love. If you do this, I will do this. But if you had done like this, I will have also done like this.
So it has to be unconditional.
So it has to be you must show unconditional love for your spouse. And you know, it is even interesting for us men. When a man knows that the spouse loves them unconditional.
What happens if you love unconditional as men?
Same way.
There's a way you stated it, that you men
feel
good when you know that your spouse loves you unconditionally.
That's true. But it is also likewise. If a woman knows that my man loves me unconditionally, then this is what happens. But then also the other problem now when it comes to relationships is competition. Unhealthy competition.
What do you mean competition?
We are different. That's number one. Our love languages are different. That's number two. And then also our status is different. Just because you saw one spouse was given a flower, so my owner's never given me a flower.
Those things. You are in offices and your fellow girls are receiving gifts on Valentine,
and then
you're not getting.
You're not getting.
Like, this man doesn't love me enough.
Your spouse brings lunch from Cafe Javas, and then your colleagues don't have anything, and then they're like, "What kind of man are you?"
Did I marry?
That's why I keep emphasizing for my friends, for my fellow men, that don't compare your wife to another person, and also for ladies, don't compare your man with other men. Because the fact that I left other women to marry you, or to be with you, or to be dating you, is because there is something that is unique about you. But then when you say, why can't you be like other men? So what do other men do? Why can't you be like other women? So what do other women do? And when you begin to get to that place, frustration is going to build, communication is going to break.
Yeah.
And once communication breaks, relationships begin to shrink. And that's where so many things are happening. But it is coming, number one, as a result of the mental, that needs to be addressed. Please, I want to emphasize, help is available. Help is too much available. Very available. We need to come to terms and accept that we need help. But when you are a help provider, when you are a service provider, let's break the barriers. See a person as a person, see a problem as a problem. Differentiate the two, first of all. That's how you're going to. I go to prisons a lot. And every time I go to the prisons, I tell the inmates, I've not come to see you the way others come to see you. I remember we had a school that we started in Masaka, and this school was growing, and I was showing and giving them support, even in Arua main prisons the same way. And when we went to see, we also organized school days within the prisons. So we go to see performance of the learners and all that. And then whenever I talk to them, I say, I've come to school. I've not come to see you as inmates with your various crimes. So don't tell me this one is a rapist, the other one is a murderer, the other one is a robber. No. I've come to see students. And if I'm to help you, I will first help you as a person, but not as the problem that brought you here. Because that's why many times if you're to help somebody who has maybe murdered or who has killed somebody, you may, until you see this person as a person, you may still be having issues. But if you see this person as a murderer, it's even hard for you to help this person. Same way with mental illness.
Now, you spoke about families, and you said that the main cause of mental illness begins from family, where we grow up from.
Yeah.
We have seen people behave in a weird manner, and people have always said, "Oyo watu weyakula tata we yali mukambwe," you know, like is taking a habit that his dad used to have. What do you have to say about that? Maybe if the father was a beater, he used to beat the wife. This man, growing up, also starts beating his wife.
The reason is one: children do what they see their parents do. Children do what they see their parents do. I have lived to see this, and I've also lived to tell others this. Any listener out there, if you have children, watch these children. These children will always imitate you. Whatever you do, they will want to imitate, and they want to be like you. Whenever I go home, even yesterday when I went back home, my 2-year-old boy ran and said, "Dad, let me remove your shoes." Then I released my legs. He released, and then he removed the shoes. Then he said, "Let me also remove the socks." He removed the socks. But what did he do? After removing the socks, he put on my socks, also put on my shoes. That's to just show you that children do what they imitate what we do. If a child sees this is happening, then that's what exactly they will do. Because a child will look and see, and he will also want to try and do exactly what the parents do. That's number one. Number two, in families where the mother and the father have separated, the weight comes on the children. They won't tell you, but they're having their pain inside. So, in as much as they are acting that way, they are acting out of the frustrations. And then it is also what they see they're practicing. Number three, talking about mental illness coming from breaking loose from the family setting. That I think is in families where there's a lot of polygamy. That means there will always be competition. There will always be rivalry. Even if it is not in a polygamous home, even if you're in a monogamous home, there's always that competition that comes. Natural. The firstborn, the secondborn, the lastborn, there will always be some competition. And it is worse if by any chance the parents begin to show some level of favoritism.
Yes, to a certain child.
To a certain child. Definitely the rest may not say anything, but they will only wait for an opportune time for them to act.
Very true.
Joseph, when Jacob gave him a coat, the rest didn't have any. What did they do? They mobilized themselves.
To go against the brother.
To go against the brother. Most of the things that are failing apart is in the family. Cain killed his brother in the family. Esau wanted to kill the brother. Jacob ran away because of the brother, but still they came back and they reconciled. Everything that is falling apart is falling within the family. That's why even right now, there are so many siblings who don't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
Why? Because they feel either one was loved more than the other, or they feel one is shaming the family in one way or the other. So, but without knowing that actually it's not about shaming. I know mental illness has a way of clothing people with a garment of shame, with a garment of rejection, dejection, despair, all that. But we need to let go. Time needs to come where we remove this kind of garments of shame. Accept the reality that actually this person is struggling. What people don't know is that others may even say, you're the one who looked for the problem. We warned you not to drink, but you still went ahead and then became an alcoholic. Telling me to stop drinking will not help me to stop drinking, because maybe why I am drinking is because there is a problem that you have not been addressing. Yeah?
Yes.
Because every of this has a cause. There's a trigger. There is a cause for whatever mental illness. There is a cause. That's why psychotherapy helps to deal with what is the cause of this, what triggered this.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, friends, the medication will only treat the symptoms, will only treat your body, will only make things around your body to normalize. But the real trigger is only dealt with when there is a psychotherapy, when you say therapist, when you say counselor, when you open up to speak what really it is.
Mainly by the people that are around you.
Yes. And then from there, the therapist then can help you to cope in case such a thing happens again. How will you manage?
All right, let's go for another short break. But we are returning, discussing about now during or when you're in marriage and then that particular relationship you're having causes or triggers the mental illness. Yes, tugenda kumulamo na yetu kwa maone Daniel oliko Be Hopeful.
You're watching Be Hopeful. We'll be right back after the break. Bethany TV for health. Ladies and gentlemen, we are thrilled to introduce Bethany Santa Omugabi, who will be sharing wonderful goodies with you this Christmas season. Getting a chance to meet Bethany Santa Omugabi is easy. Just tune into Bethany TV and get to know our various programs and talented presenters. Bethany Santa Omugabi will make surprise appearances during our live programs and offer Christmas hampers filled with an assortment of goodies, including healthy food items. When you spot Bethany Santa Omugabi during any of our programs, be the first to call in and say, "Hello, Bethany Santa Omugabi. I am your Christmas date." He will then ask you a simple question about our programs and presenters. If you answer correctly, you instantly win a mega Christmas hamper. But that's not all. You can also respond on social media. The first 20 people to respond to each question on social media will be entered into a draw. And lucky winners will be picked and announced during Bethany Santa Live on Saturdays. Bethany Santa Omugabi, only on Bethany TV for health. Showing on Bethany TV. Are you ready to start your day with a bang? Introducing the Morning Vibes with Fimbo Vibes.
2, 3,
Get ready for an action-packed morning that leaves you feeling stronger, fitter, and more energized.
Squeeze your tummy. Nice.
No matter your fitness level, our expert trainers will ensure you get the most out of every workout for your morning boost.
Hey, challenge your body every day. Move out your comfort zone and try to go hard.
So always set your alarm to wake you up at 5:20 a.m. Monday to Thursday, and Fimbo Vibes will make your mornings epic. Bethany TV for health. Bethany TV for health.
Okoze bulungi nnyo kuba ng'okyekumidde ku Bethan TV. Tuli mu program Be Hopeful, nze Winnie Mbabazi. Tulina omugenyi waffe ono nga mulwanyizi wa ddembe ly'abantu abalina obuzibu ku bwongo naye nga si ddalu, si bulwadde buli awo, naye nga atabadde naffe tulina kye tubadde tuli mu kwogerako, era ng'ensonga eno y'ey'obulwadde bw'obwongo. Obulwadde bw'obwongo tubunnyonnyodde mu ngeri ez'enjawulo. Obulwadde bw'obwongo bwa njawulo, si ddalu lyokka abantu be tulaba nga bali ku luguudo beeyambudde oba bali eri butabika, ate nga n'abagenda ebutabika babeerako we batandikira eno mpola mpola. Tulaba ebintu bingi nnyo, naye omukulu Daniel abadde atugamba nti ebintu ebisinga okuleeta obuzibu gye tuba twakulira, ebintu bye tuyiseemu naddala nga tuli bato ne bijja nga twaffectinga obwongo bwaffe. Katukula nabyo abantu ne bajja nga ekizibu kikula n'atuuka eno waggulu ne bimukosa, naddala mu relationships oba mu marriage. Omuntu nobeera waka ng'omuntu mukambwe ennyo, atabuka, alwana. Kati naawe ali eyo, oba oli mukyalo oba oli musajja nga omwagalwa wakuba, mwana wattu yeetaaga kuyamba. But Daniel, you said we shouldn't run away from these people. But now, when it comes to violence, this person is beating me every day. He's very angry. He's filled with bitterness. And every time he comes, a small statement you make triggers the anger. And he hits you to the wall, does this and that. So now, okay, I know I'm supposed to help this person, but then I'm also supposed to be worried. When should one get worried? When they're having a partner who has a mental challenge, I should say.
Good question, but I will refer you back to my story and back to my book, Hope in the Age of Depression, How to Thrive Amidst Mental Health Problems. There's that statement that I made that men relationships and marriages are an intensive care unit because people have chosen to suffer in silence because of stigma, because of fear. And I brought out this area of stigma in 5 angles. Stigma, number 1, of the society.
Yeah.
Everywhere where people are relating and all that, even in families, in different backgrounds, issues of mental health are taboo topics for discussion. And even when something like that is happening, people fear to speak up. That's why many women and even men have been beaten, harassed, tortured in their marriages. When a woman beats their husband, the man cannot even go and report. Because the few who try to report even to police, one day one guy reported to police and then the police asked him, what kind of man are you? So equally, even men fear to come out to police to report issues of gender-based violence. Yet they actually go through it. And then equally, on the other side, when it comes to women, even when men have become monsters in their lives, many of them also fear speaking up because what will the society say? What will the family say? And that perspective alone, where people are dying in silence because of stigma, they cannot speak up, is for me, is where the problem is. But if this person does this, and then maybe you speak up, seek for help. In our traditional African settings, relatives of this man are summoned to discuss this kind of behavior. Yeah.
Let me cut you short. There is a guest I hosted here. She was going through domestic violence. And the immediate help she could get was church. And then she went to church and she was trying to share with the pastors, the group of pastors, what was happening in the marriage. She really wanted to save her marriage. Excuse me. But what was happening in their marriage was way too bad. The man would beat her every day and badly. So now what happened was the church could invite both couples, like the couple, and then speak to them and to the man. And what happened was after that kind of counseling, when they went back home, the man would even beat her more. So you're reporting me, you're telling people I beat you, you're trying to shame me. So this is why I'm asking now, when should I worry and how should I help this kind of person? Because I'm trying to involve other people to help, to see if you need help, to see if they can do something, because in this case I cannot do anything at all. But now someone else can do something. Maybe you can listen to someone else. But when I try to involve other people, it becomes even worse. So what does one have to do in such a scenario?
Now, what I can say is, in terms of referral, this is where challenge is. I think in that case, the first place this person can actually engage is the family.
The spouse's family?
Yes.
Okay.
In my context, this is what happens. If such a thing happened, and then the family of this man is summoned, the brothers, the parents, if they're there, and then these issues are discussed, then solutions are sought from there. And then where this person, then where further referral needs to be made, then it is done from that perspective. Because one thing that is here is, it is slightly harder, especially in the urban setting, where your neighbor is not necessarily your relative.
Exactly.
And your relatives are maybe far away, maybe like mine, who are over 500 kilometers away from Kampala. So, but still, there could be other relatives of mine who are within. These are people can still be talked to. Then number two, who can this person listen to most?
That's the thing.
Because the thing here is, when it comes to helping somebody who has a mental health problem, it is relational. It is relational. Even when it comes to talking, that's why in my book of mental health, How to Thrive, I mean, it's mental health challenges. When you are trying to help somebody who has a mental illness, even still we normally ask, who does this person relate with the most? Because when somebody has a mental illness, they are segregative in terms of people they can associate with, they can relate with. So you look for who is this person close to, who does this person talk to, who does this person believe in. This is the kind of person who can be there to be the one to give care and support for this person.
Okay.
Whatever this person says, they will listen. But then when you bring the wrong person to them, it may not work.
So you need to identify someone they listen to.
Who does this person listen to? Who does this person flow well with? Because definitely, if you go to the pastors and then, for you want to help, yes, but then the man may see it as accusation. And
embarrassment.
And embarrassment as well. And to make matters worse, like I said it will even be worse when he finds himself as a prayer request in one of the church functions, in one of the altars. Now let's pray for Brother Swadi. So the devil is a liar. This is what is happening in the... So the man gets again, you know. So that's where the whole issue of stigma and all that comes. But still, I want to say there are people who believe in you.
Yeah.
There are people who believe in that guy. There are people that guy believes in. Identify these kind of people. These are the people who can actually be close enough to be able to offer support for this person. That's one. Number two, when it comes to domestic violence and all that, everything is triggered. Everything has, it keeps piling. So understand what is triggering this person's mood, what triggers this person, what is their love language, what makes them tick, what makes them low. Understand this. So that personality difference also matters, because also there is the personality disorder.
Okay.
There are people, for them, they're extremely neat, that everything about them has to be perfect. So you have to leave the sandals very far away before you reach the veranda, even almost. They make sure you don't enter your shoes with, because for them they've organized their stuff, so you don't disorganize them. So when you disorganize, whatever you do might disorganize them.
So you must be very careful.
So because of their personality of perfectionism, they can easily snap into mental health challenges. And then before you know it, the way they communicate, they're bitter, always quarreling and all that, venting out their frustrations. And then also there are guys who are extremely bossy. Whatever they have said, nobody can say no. If they have said yes as if they're Jesus, because I know it is only Jesus who says yes, nobody can say no. But then this one wants to be nearer there. So it is actually because of the personality disorders that actually come. This person needs help. But the question is, who can this person give the help?
Exactly.
Who can give help to this person? That's why referral is the most critical thing. And how do you approach it?
Okay. Now, we talked of, before we went for a short break, I was asking that people we've had who actually developed mental illness through the relationships or marriages.
Yeah.
You got married, but because of the way this woman has treated you or has been treating you, you get bipolar. Or maybe because of the things that the man has been doing to you, you get bipolar or any mental health or depression or something. So now, what happens with this person? Because does it mean that somebody is born, everybody is born with a percentage of mental illness? So it is somehow, I should say, what word can I use? What triggers the illness to come out and grow and become worse? Does it mean everybody is born with it?
No, you know, there are so many factors. Environment plays a very big role. That's one. Environment where you are born from plays a very big role. Or environment of your marriage also plays a very big role. Number two, in most cases, abuse, either from childhood or even in your marriage, can actually trigger mental illness.
Yes.
Now, where there is abuse, now when it comes to domestic abuse, people only look at the violence, but it is more than that.
There's also
there is emotional
abuse.
abuse. There are people, for example, now there are people who, for example, you can be in your marriage, and because you earn more, you control everything in the house. You want to you feel you want to control everything in the house. Yeah, and that also in a way is abuse, but you may not actually realize it. There is emotional abuse and so many other. But then, in most cases, it escalates when physical violence comes in play. And then there is that level of hopelessness that, of course, comes. How dare you beat me? Do you know who I am? Maybe some people even have titles and status, but then this is happening. So all that triggers, but then also there is a fear and shame. How do I come out to speak and all that? But so many things can trigger. Now, and then another thing that also triggers mental illnesses in marriages is loss. Maybe you have lost a parent, or you have lost some property, or you have lost some money, or you have lost whatever you've lost. Any loss triggers. And then of course there is the competition I talked about. And then there is barrenness. Maybe you are married, happily married, but years are passing, there is no child. You don't have
children.
And then
and the family is actually asking questions.
And then they are putting on pressure. That's why in Uganda, many gynecologists are ever busy. Why? Many ladies are trying their best to look for babies. And these babies...
in most cases, it's not actually the woman's problem.
So, and that can also trigger barrenness in all its forms. Barrenness just not only in terms of children, but also barrenness when you see yourself, you are married for 10 years, but then you look back and then you see that you have not been productive at all. There's nothing to show. You sink into depression, you sink into different issues. And then, of course, you look at childhood trauma. also plays a very big role actually in even adulthood. The childhood trauma and abuses play a very big role, even when somebody is there. And then somebody will just, somebody's thing will just be amplified, but the trauma actually was in childhood. Now the stress, because we also have the stress disorders, the stress that, when I'm talking about stress management, in rare cases have I ever talked about going for activities so that you can be happy and laugh and all that. After laughing, where do you go? You go back home. And the stress...
Where the stress is.
Where the stress is. You know, the fact is, there are only two places of stress. Two places of stress. Number one place of stress
Home.
is at home. And at home, it has taken a seat, a big seat in the bedroom.
In the bedroom?
Yes. So until you hold the bull by the horns to deal with that stress in the bedroom, nothing will move. Number two stress, workplace. So there are only two places places where there's the stress. So until somebody learns, how do I cope and manage this? And all this comes to one thing, communication. It comes back to relationship. So, so you can say that mental health it is intertwined. So if somebody is struggling in their marriage, chances are, number one, it is as a result of this. But I don't believe in this saying of irreconcilable difference. Every difference can be reconciled to. But the problem is, we take our positions, you either come here or nothing happens. So, and then everyone takes their position, nobody wants to adjust, and then everybody is right. And then the other thing now that comes, now because of these things, and then there is this saying, I will survive after all. After all. I can still have this, I can have that. Life will continue after all. So that is where the relationship still crashes. So it comes down on relationships. How do we build meaningful relationships? After my heartbreaks and disappointments and mental health challenges and all that, this is here. But in here, I've been able to put some of these issues. One thing that I want to say, even when you're going through that kind of abuse and all that, one thing I want to read here, page 127. Many people, because of pain and challenges in their relationship, they get lost of their true identity. Many end up in survival mode, settling for what is available, as they lose themselves in the crowd, feeling worthless, valueless, hopeless, purposeless, and useless. Abandonment, insults, and abuses, false accusation, starvation, corporal punishments, all of these negative attitudes are things that we face in our relationships, in our marriages, and in our families, and all that for various reasons. But then what happens is self-esteem, when it crashes, when self-esteem is lost, how does it manifest in our relationships? It manifests, number one, through depression, stress, trauma, anxiety, premature death due to suicide. That's why many people after heartbreak or disappointing relationship, they end up with suicide. Loss of hope, difficulty in expressing needs. Even when you want something, you cannot express it because you have difficulty expressing it. High tendency of feeling less sure of one's abilities. You remember I talked about when you have mental health, which is good, you are sure of your abilities, that's what you can do. But here you're not sure about what you can do. Low or no self-confidence, decision-making doubt, you doubt your decisions, you cannot even make a decision. Negative outlook on oneself. Concentrating, focusing, and paying much attention to one's weaknesses. You don't look at your strength, you look at only what you have failed to do, or you look at your weaknesses. Living in fear of failure, isolation, use of vulgar language. Now there are people who are just vulgar. And because of their vulgar language they use, they receive more beatings. Or this is where come down to understand where is this person coming from. Aggressive behaviors, bitterness and anger, demotivation with oneself, wrong mindset, which in turn propels to stigma, stereotype, isolation, segregation, divisionism, and so on. So all of these are happening here. How does somebody get rid of this? Understand who am I. Understand, come back to your senses to know that, okay, in as much as I've been through this, that's not me. In as much as I have had this problem, let this problem be here, let me be here. That's where my point of separating a problem from a person comes.
Interesting. Now, let's go for another short break, but we're coming back with our last segment. We shall be talking about, I'll go back into this kind of relationship where they were all okay, but one partner started behaving in a certain manner that actually drove the other partner into depression. So how does this person with the depression be helped? Because the other one is also sick and now has also caused the other one to
be, actually all of them are sick.
They are all of them. They are both sick. So who is going to help the other? Be Hopeful show to koma woto vao tukumone chintu chaffe kisembayo.
You're watching Be Hopeful. We'll be right back after the break. Bethany TV for health. Are you looking for a platform to advertise your business and boost your sales? Bethany TV got you covered. Take advantage of our introductory rates and maximize your leverage for brand awareness, advertising, product launching, live coverages, activations, and so much more. For booking and more information, contact our sales team on 0785 576 269. Bethany TV for health. Introducing Bethany TV, the pioneer health and wellness channel in Uganda and Africa, having a profound commitment to health and wellness. Our content takes various forms, from music and series to documentaries, talk shows, news, features, movies, cartoons, and reality shows. We are a hybrid station available on free-to-air and pay platforms, embracing the digital age as we maintain a strong online presence through our website, social media platforms, and mobile apps. Explore our rich and diverse content, engage with us on social media, and be a part of the positive change we aim to bring to the health and wellness landscape. Bethany TV for health. Introducing Medical Minds with Dr. Andabati.
And these tubes can be so delicate that sometimes they get damaged. Some people have gotten the damage because they have undergone some operations. So damage to the tube system is one of the big problems we also do see.
The groundbreaking show that takes you behind the scenes of the medical minds.
You will explore cutting-edge treatment and technologies revolutionizing reproduction health.
Now, in retrograde ejaculation, we get damage to the junctional valves, which I should say.
Learn about the science behind fertility, contraception, and emotional journeys that several women trek.
Every Sunday, 8 p.m., live on Bethany TV.
Child health and well-being, the foundation for a bright and promising future. Join us for exciting episodes aimed at optimizing our children's physical, mental, and emotional health with our team of experts, including pediatricians, nutritionists, and child psychologists, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on Bethany TV.
Bethany TV for health. Are you ready for this good news? You can now watch Bethany TV on Yo TV, AfroMobile, and Airtel TV apps. Yes! Catch the finest programming prescription for everybody, wherever you are, whenever you are. Bethany TV for health. Bethany TV for health. And now, more with Be Hopeful.
Wewa uli mchindo chisemba cha programu ya feno Be Hopeful nze Winnie Mbabazi ndino mwami alwanirira eddembe ly'abantu abalina obuzibu ku bwongo naye nga si balalu talwanirira balalu alwanirira abantu abalina obuzibu obw'enjawulo obw'obwongo mwami Daniel Dreleba Dratibi. So now we have spoken about this and that, helping these people that are actually going through different mental challenges. But I'm speaking about a scenario where two people are sick. This man is behaving, has we call it a behavior? He has a behavior, and this behavior has actually caused the other partner to develop depression. So who is going to help the other? Or in such a scenario, how do these two people get helped?
That's where community mental health plays a very big role. Community mental health is what I advocate for, and that's what we do as a Voice of Restoration. And one thing that we need to embrace here is we need information, we need awareness. People need to be informed. That's why the Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. People just need to be informed, people need to be given information, people need to be given knowledge on how to handle this. One thing that I want to say, for instance, are you aware that when most women give birth or when ladies get pregnant in their marriage, there are always problems? Because, you know, what happens is, in most cases, some people don't understand. For example, when a woman gets pregnant or when she conceives, everything changes. And if the man does not understand that, in most cases, actually, most marriages break, or all relationships break when this becomes the thing. The man feels the woman is nagging. The woman feels the man is not doing enough. Things begin to fall apart. When a woman gives birth, there is an obvious postnatal depression that comes. And if the man does not understand this, there will always be violence, even when the baby is still too young for any violence to be around.
They argue about nothing.
They argue over things, and until someone understands that actually, when a woman gives birth, this is what happens. This is what happens. They need that kind of awareness, they need that kind of information. Otherwise, relationships are breaking when either the mother is still expecting or when she has just newly given birth. And then sometimes some of these things begin to occur under different circumstances of the stress. It comes down to communication. Why stress? Because there are things that people are not comfortable speaking about. Even as I speak now, many marriages, many spouses don't speak the truth about some things. Or they don't even talk about it. They keep it to themselves. And because of that, communication has been affected. Someone actually made a fund that most women are making secret investments.
Are making what?
Secret investments. Their husbands don't know about. And many men are having secret families that their wives. Of course, I can laugh at it, but it's not really a laughing subject because it is really, we are seeing these things happen. Why? Because there has been mistrust. And then
between the couples.
Yeah, between the couples, and they are failing to understand each other, and there is no condition. There's conditional love.
Oh yeah.
But then how can this couple be helped? One, this couple can only be helped, number one, when they open up to seek for help. Number two, the point will be, where can they find the help?
Exactly.
Like I said, because of stigma, many marriages, many relationships are in intensive care unit. People are dying in silence. people are fearing to come out to speak. But then the question is, where do you speak? To whom do you speak, and when do you? Because the best person to address some of these issues are the counselors. But then the point also is, who are these counselors? Of course, in Kampala we have so many of them, but then others don't access these counselors because of the charges. They are willing, but then the counselor says, this is my fee. But because they cannot afford the fee, they choose to sit down and they wait for more beating or more abuses and stuff. But one thing that can happen is both of them need help. I have seen stories where, yeah, they have been abused, but right now things have turned out upside down and things are back normal. Why? Both of them sought for help.
Daniel, give us a scripture for that day.
Well, there is no another scripture I can give apart from, okay, I can have several. You know, when it comes to relationships, now that we're talking about mental health and relationships, Proverbs 13:12 is where most of these problems are triggered. Hope deferred makes the heart sick.
Proverbs
13:12 verse 12. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. And because of that, you see that it progresses to now Proverbs 12:25, which says, anxiety in the heart of man causes depression, but a good word makes it glad. It is until we get to that place where we can begin to look for that good word which comes. That good word can only come when there is better relationships, when there is a good communication and all that, but also when hope is instilled. But the verse for the day now is, I think, the one I will give the one of last time still, because it is one thing that keeps me moving. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 10.
Oh, I thought Job, there's that scripture also.
1 Peter chapter 5 verse 10 says, the God of all grace, who has called us to his eternal glory, after you have suffered for a while. So whoever is watching, you know how much you have suffered in your marriage or in your relationship. It is only you who knows. I have no clue.
Yes.
But the Bible says that even when you have suffered for a little while, he will himself restore,
yes,
strengthen, establish, and settle you. So that is the scripture that I can give.
Thank you so
today.
much. Which song would you like to listen to?
God will always make a way where there seems to be no way.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for coming. God bless you so much. Olunaku olwaleero ndowooza bwe bityo bitambudde wano ku program yaffe Be Hopeful tubadde n'omwami Dreleba.
How about if I give you this? Will this help you?
Definitely.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bampadde akatabo kano bannange munoonyeeko nsobole okuba nga mbawaako kopi nammwe musome mubeereko bye muyiga ndowooza mukalaba. It says the art of dating and courtship. Ebintu byonna omwami ono byabadde ayogera biri wano. Ndowooza bakawadde mutuufu. So twogedde ku bintu bingi nnyo ebikwata ku bulwadde bw'obwongo naye okusinziira ku Daniel mu kuwumbawumba ebiseera ebisinga abantu bano beetaaga obuyambi naye ng'onooyamba omuntu ono ekisinga obukulu olina okutegeera ddi lw'olina okumuyamba nawa oba ani gw'olina okulaba. Atugambye nti omuntu bw'aba alina condition eno oba ng'alina ekizibu kyonna mu ebyo bye twogedde, tayagala kwebaka, tayagala kunaaba, talya, mukambwe, alina obusungu, avaako, ekintu kino n'okimunyiiza, alina entondo, noonyaayo omuntu gw'omanyi gwe yeesiga oba gw'awuliriza gw'oba olaba. Naye olina okumanya ddi ate naani gw'olina okulaba kubanga ebiseera ebisinga gw'oyinza okulemererwa omuyamba naye olina okuzuulayo omuntu oyo gw'omanyi nti omwami wange awuliriza gundi oba omwami oba omukyala wange omuntu ono bw'ati bw'ayogera mu bulamu bwe awulira. So olina okumanya ddi naani bw'olina okulaba okusobola okuyamba omuntu wo. Be Hopeful Show bwetyo bwe tutambudde, nze Winnie Mbabazi. Tuddemu nate olunaku olw'enkya naye teweerabira puroguramu eno ku ssaawa 5 ez'ekiro egenda kuba eddibwamu. Mbaagala nnyo.